Welcome back. My name is Emmy. This is the channel Frugal Money Saver. My husband Paul and I are an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple in the state of New York, and we basically just show you how to have a full, abundant life spending less money. Now today we are going to pause with all the holiday hubbub, and we are going to get excited, and I mean excited, for our January no spend month. I am going to talk to you today about how to prepare for it, because you don't just want to jump into a no spend month without thinking it through. Why are you doing it? What do you need to do before you begin it? Things like that. Then we're going to get into the kitchen and we're going to create some yogurt cheese and a savory quick bread. So all of you who are afraid of making bread with yeast, this is the recipe for you. And then we're going to take a peek into my freezer, the pantry, my cabinets, just to get an idea of what we have right now and how we're going to be adding to that for our no spend January. So let's get right to this. A no spend January, what basically does that mean? What it means is you are not spending any money in January on non-essential purchases. So in other words, all your bills will be paid, all medical will be paid. If you need prescriptions, things like that. Everything that you have to pay on a monthly basis continues to be paid. But what we're cutting out is non-essential. No eating out. No shopping on Amazon. No shopping on the internet at all, unless it's a necessary purchase. So no frivolous spending here or there. So the first thing I want you to do is think about why you want to do your no spend January. What are you going to do with the extra money? Psych yourself up. We have our land taxes due in January. So we know there's going to be a big chunk for those land taxes, which means we don't have much wiggle room at all that month, at all. Ours are going to go to supplement our tax bill. What is it that is getting you excited about a no spend? Are you going to put the money away? Is there something in particular that you're saving for? Is it just going to be to pay off some debts maybe? Whatever motivates you to do this, keep reminding yourself of it. Put a picture of it on your refrigerator, whatever it is. The second thing I want you to prepare for is to have other things to do besides spending money. Maybe you have some unfinished hobby projects you've been working on that haven't got finished, or maybe you want to learn to cook from scratch or start learning something on YouTube. This is the month to do it. All those little things that we never seem to have time for. The holidays will be behind us, and this is a month that we are going to recharge our batteries and save some money at the same time. January is also the month to start utilizing your library. There are tons and tons of free resources. There are DVDs, there are books. A lot of libraries offer free programs if you feel comfortable going to something like that. This would be the month to tap into it. What we all need to do is make a little list of things when we feel like, oh, I'm bored, I may want to just go on and browse Amazon. Look at that list. Oh, I started a puzzle. I really want to finish that. Or I'm going to call so-and-so who I haven't talked to in a while and just catch up. I'm going to make Emmy's quick cheese bread that she showed. So what we want to do is just make sure we have some backup activities to keep us busy throughout the month. The other thing you're going to want to do is meal plan. I'm going to just show you some quick snippets of my freezer, my pantry, the cabinets, what I am starting with. Now, there's still 2 weeks till the end of the month. I'm going to be stocking up a little more on those low sale priced items that I know Paul and I will eat. Do not buy something that's low price if you have no intention of eating it or you don't like it. You'll never see dried beans in my house. I know they're economical. I know everybody raves about them. We don't care for them. So that's not something I'm going to stockpile. It would go to waste, basically. Keep that in mind. Meal plan. Start thinking of meals, incorporating pantry items. Now, you're going to have to set a food budget for the month as well. Fresh fruits, vegetables, things like that, meats maybe. So what I'm doing, though, is I'm going to set a budget of $100, but that's for Paul and I for the month. There's only 2 of us. What I want you to do is think of how many people are in your family. If you have a family of 5, you're going to have to up it. You need fresh fruits, you need fresh vegetables, things like that. You want to keep healthy through this month. So we need to remember that too. So to eat right, to stay hydrated, that's very important. But think of a food budget that will work for you for the month. Remember too, if you can, cook from scratch. That's going to be your best bet. You know, those tried and true recipes from days gone by. Now, I am going to show you my freezer, and we keep 2 packages of tortellini in there so that when I don't feel like cooking, we have something we could just boil up with a little butter, garlic, and Parmesan. It's absolutely delicious. So I will encourage you to keep some quick food. Either you can batch cook and maybe freeze some of it, or even a frozen pizza. Try to have something, though, that when the time comes and you're like, oh, let's go through the drive-thru, I'm exhausted, you know you got a backup in your freezer or your pantry, even some sauce and pasta. Now I'm going to give you a little tour of what we have so far. So sit back, relax, and here's a peek. We are in the infamous pantry, and I just wanted to give you a little glimpse of what we're starting with. So we've got about 4 cans of pumpkin back there. The free gift for the Saturday sampler at Acme was a jar of marmalade. So I am super excited we added that into our pantry. We've got some evaporated milk. We have got sweetened condensed milk, peanut butter, tuna. We have got egg noodles, pasta. This is how I store my potatoes. I think I showed you this before. What I do is use an old mesh bag that oranges came in, and we hang them, and they stay beautifully that way. And then we've got a bunch of jars of pickles, pasta sauce, canned tomatoes, salsa. We've got baked beans. We've got a big thing of olive oil. I've got some brownie mixes, cake mixes that we've picked up along the way on sale. 2 containers of white icing. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, but come January, you never know. I've got a bunch of cans of coffee and tea. We've got a whole bag of stuffing left. I would say the pantry for what we use is perfect. We store a lot of our food in the freezer, like I have mentioned before. Okay, this is a little messy, so bear with me. We have flour, we have nuts, we have baking supplies, that's brown sugar, confectionery sugar, chocolate chips. We have a bunch of noodles here, all my spices here. I'm going to be cleaning this cabinet, so be kind. 2 weeks ago, Acme's Saturday sampler was a bag of French fries, and my son gave me his too. So we are well stocked on French fries. That was great. We have a loaf of Italian bread from Thanksgiving I put in here. I'm looking at it, pizza one night. I've got some leftover white beans. We've got a bag of cranberries. Remember when we froze those? Bag of frozen cheese. Remember it was on clearance at Acme? You all told me to go back, so I'm still doing good on that. I have a bag of ends of bread and old rolls, things like that. We're going to make some croutons. This is some ground beef and cabbage we made that we froze. I made those cranberry muffins. This container has Christmas cookies I froze. And down here we have our meat. I have to organize this a little better, but at least we have an inventory of what's in here. I'm going to suggest something. You're doing the no spend January. Have some convenience foods. We choose tortellini because we actually love it. But have something when you don't feel like cooking. It's a go-to meal. It will keep you out of the restaurants and the drive-thru. Maybe it's a frozen pizza, whatever it may be. This shrimp is for Christmas Eve. I picked that up a while ago. Small roast beef under here that we bought. And then we have chicken cutlets. Everything is dated too. I've got to organize this a little bit better. And here we have still 3 pounds of bacon. So as you can see, we're starting out with a very well-stocked freezer. This is the little freezer in the other room. I have all bags of frozen vegetables here. Homemade tomato sauce. There's blueberries, strawberries. And then in this drawer down here are open bags of veggies. The corn we froze from the summer and all different kinds of bagged frozen vegetables. So you got a little glimpse of what we have so far. And we're going to be adding to that. I'll show you my grocery hauls between now and the end of the year. What we're going to be focusing on probably is fresh fruits and vegetables, though we do have frozen, as you saw. Now what we're going to do is turn the camera around and get into the kitchen. And what this segment is going to do is just encourage you through the month of January to think outside the box. I had some yogurt that had to be used up, and I was tired of eating it just like yogurt. Paul won't touch it. So what am I going to do with it? Well, I found a recipe for yogurt cheese, and I know he will eat it. We're going to turn it into a whole different yummy recipe. So I'm going to show you that. And then here's another idea. You have a surplus of something, and we have a surplus of cheese, as you saw. We made a pepper jack cheese quick bread. So easy. The taste was delicious. I want to encourage you with these recipes to look at what you have and create with it. Create with it. Don't waste food. Let's use up what we have. And another thing, if you make any of my recipes, follow me over on Instagram. It's one word, Frugal Money Saver. Tag me in anything you make. Upload a picture. Tag me in it, and I will put it on my site. I love to see when you all cook some of my dishes. So remember that. So let's get into the kitchen. Being creative with the food we have in our homes is half the fun of being frugal. It's going to be tips like this that we're going to use through January. I have some zero milk fat yogurt. I have been eating the yogurt faithfully. I bought this a while ago and it's still within date. What I want to do now is just change it up into a different product. And yes, you can do that. What I'm going to make is some yogurt cheese. So I just have a bowl. I have a strainer and a coffee filter. And you can use cheesecloth, but I don't have cheesecloth, so we're going to use a coffee filter. And I am going to take the remaining yogurt that is in here. And this is supposed to make just an amazing cheese for crackers, for spreads, for this time of year. This is exactly what I need. It's something different. And what we're doing basically is we're going to get all the water out of this yogurt. And what's going to be left behind is a firm cheese, almost like a cream cheese. I'll look and see what we can mix in. Some spices, maybe some olives, to make this a really yummy gourmet type cheese. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put a piece of plastic wrap over it, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to let sit for about 24 hours. And I'm pretty happy about this because I could tell I was getting kind of tired of eating the yogurt every morning, and I don't want it to go bad. So I have to come up with another way that I know Paul will eat it, I will eat it, and if my son comes, he'll put it on crackers. So we're going to try this. So we'll check back in 24 hours and see how it's doing. It has been 24 hours for our yogurt. Several hours into it, I thought, let me put a bowl on top to push it down so it would get the water out even more. And I'm super glad I did. Look at this. It looks like cream cheese. You can see how saturated the coffee filter is. And look at all the whey that has come out of here. So you can see how amazingly thick this is. It is like cream cheese. I read someone said, and I think we may get to do this, but I'm not going to be able to show it because this video is going up before that. Someone said to add herbs to the yogurt cheese, a little garlic, onion, some Italian seasoning, and then what you do is take it, make it into little patties, just little ones about this big, put it in breadcrumbs and fry them. And it is amazing over salads. So I'm thinking that is what we're going to do. What a great way to take yogurt now and turn it into a completely different item. This is so thick. It looks like cream cheese, doesn't it, Paul?
Oh yeah, you could spread that on toast.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another idea. Somebody said they put olives in it and spread it on crackers. There's so much you can do with this. Through the month of January, when we look at an item, what can we do with it? How can we change it? How can we mix it up? So, perfect example. We always talk about making yeast breads, but how about a quick bread that is savory, a cheese bread that you can put together in no time at all? Absolutely scrumptious with soups, stews, toasted on its own, sandwiches, whatever you want to do with this bread, you will not be disappointed. And there's no yeast. And I know so many of you are like, oh, I don't like to work with yeast. So then this is your bread. What we're going to need is about 2 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 cup of cold butter, a cup of shredded hard cheese. I am using pepper jack because that is what I had. It has to be a hard cheese, like cheddar, sharp cheddar, those kind of cheeses. And then I also have 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese as well. So this is just going to have such an amazing taste. I'm going to add a little onion powder and garlic powder. We're going to need 2 eggs, a cup of milk, which is in the back, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'm still debating whether I'm going to put the whole 3 tablespoons in. You know me, I may put 1.5, but we'll see as the recipe goes on. And this is going to be so easy, you're going to be like, what? So let's get right to it. We're going to start with our dry ingredients in this bowl. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Is anyone else like a messy cook like I am? I don't know why. Everything goes flying when I cook. Now I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder, roughly 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm just going to give a couple shakes of onion powder and a little bit of garlic powder. You can add whatever herbs or spices you would like to this bread. That's what's so unique about it. Now I'm going to just whisk this all together. To the dry ingredients, I'm just taking my cold butter, and you can cut it in with a pastry mixer for sure. Or what I do is I grate it, watch your fingers, and then when it gets too small, I put it in. I continue on with a fork to cut it in. And this works perfectly. By shredding the butter, it actually does the same thing as a pastry cutter does. Now that that's all incorporated, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 2 different cheeses and add it right in. Parmesan, and I use the pepper jack. Mix it all together. Now I'm just going to take this and set it aside. Look what's making an appearance. Remember the red Pyrex bowl I found on the side of the road at a tag sale? I filmed that way back in the summer. Or was it spring? I don't know, but it is out. It's red, and it will be out through Christmas, New Year's, into Valentine's Day. Woohoo! Now in this bowl, we're going to whisk our eggs, add our 1 cup of milk, and I decreased the sugar to 3 teaspoons. Now we're going to mix this all together. And now I'm just going to take the flour mixture and add it right into the egg mixture. Now we're going to mix this just till it's incorporated. The same thing like if you were to make biscuits or muffins. We don't want to overmix it. We just want to incorporate it. This is an 8 by 4.5 inch loaf pan that I have greased. And I also preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And we're just going to put this right in here. I think using the pepper jack cheese is going to be to my advantage. I think it's just going to add that extra element of flavor. This is such a great cold weather bread. It's easy enough that you can make it right before dinner. There's no rising, and hopefully it will be absolutely amazing. We're going to take it and place it in a 350 degree preheated oven for 50 minutes. But I always check it a little before just to make sure it's not getting too well done. And then we're going to put the toothpick in the middle, make sure it is completely clean when we take it out, and then we'll know it's done. I'm excited to try this, so let's get it in the oven. This cooked for 50 minutes exactly, and the toothpick inserted came out clean. Look at this bread. It rose beautifully. I let it cool in the pan for about 5 minutes, finished cooling on the wire rack. I am beyond happy with this. Let's hope it tastes as delicious as it smells and looks. The loaf has completely cooled, and Paul is going to cut a slice for us. Oh my goodness, cuts beautifully.
Wow, look at
We're going to cut this thin. I love to do that because that shows you how beautiful this bread has held together with a thin slice. Would you pick up the bread and let me just look at the inside, Paul? The cheese has melted throughout. It smells heavenly. It held together with that thin slice without crumbling. Yeah, this is a beauty. Yeah, this is a total win. Actually, you know what we're going to use it for tonight? You want to tell them, Paul?
We're going to make hamburgers, and we're going to use this as the bun.
Yep, we don't have any hamburger buns, so we're going to have cheesy bread hamburger buns. Ah, sounds so good. So I want to thank you for being here. I want to get you excited for this No Spend January. Think about the things we talked about. Think about how you're going to prepare mentally, how you're going to prepare your kitchen, how you're going to prepare your meals. This is going to be the best No Spend January we have ever done together because we're preparing ahead this time. Last time I went in at kind of winging it. Honestly, we did really well, but this year I want to do even better. So thank you all for spending this time with us. We appreciate you so much. Please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make a video. And today's question is, if you're joining us on the No Spend January and what you're doing to prepare for it, either mentally or with food or with hobbies, think about it. Leave me a comment down below because we want you all to get us excited for it as well. Thank you again for being here. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you and appreciate you. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, bye-bye.